Hey, listen, Trump had a 60 Minutes interview that I kind of wanted to watch. I mean, this is Donald J. Trump we're talking about. And I thought it would be fun to watch it with you.
It's been 5 years since President Trump appeared for an interview on 60 Minutes. So we had a lot of questions.
Okay.
What are you doing as president?
Wait, so 5 years. So the last one would have been 2020 during COVID. I don't want to pause too much because I could talk about everything. Dude, just thinking about COVID makes me realize COVID changed so much. We're getting so far from it that it doesn't even feel, it's like harder. It's like the before times. 2019 sounds like the before times, dude. It's like people young enough they can't even really remember it. It feels hazy. But it's like so different. It's never really gotten back in the same way.
Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough.
What an opener.
Whether it's this
What a
attack
fucking
at
opener.
the biggest pizza party ever or trying to eat an airplane, there's a method to the madness of getting into Guinness World Records.
Wait, what?
As many as 95% of submissions get
What are we talking about? Am I in the wrong video?
We do validate.
What is this tone shift? The president of the United States saying we haven't gone far enough and we're throwing women to the ground. And by the way, if you bounce 10 basketballs, you could get into the Guinness Book of World Records.
We are now approaching the longest shutdown in American
big
history.
question.
Democrats' fault.
Under your presidency,
Wait, let him cook. First two words of the interview, Democrats' fault. Holy shit. He's on the attack. Not my fault, QTE. Chuck Schumer in the war room watching the feed. He's good. He's running circles around us.
what are you doing as president to end the shutdown?
All we're doing is we keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. You know, they've never had this. This has happened like 18 times before. The Democrats always voted for an extension, always saying, give us an extension, we'll work it out. They've lost their way. They become crazed lunatics. And all they have to do, Nora, is say, let's vote. All they have to do is let the country open and we'll fix it.
But
they have to
ending
let
the
the
government
country
shutdown-
open, and I'll sit down with the Democrats and we'll fix it. But they have to let the country, and
So
you know what
your
they have
plan-
to do? All they have to do is raise 5 hands. We don't need all of them.
You've been talking about fixing the health care
Sure,
insurance plan
and you
since
can't do it
2015.
because of the Democrats.
But
That's
since
right.
2015, you've said you'd
I've been
fix it.
talking about it for a long time. We almost did it. We were one vote short. We would have had great health care,
That
much
can-
less
That wouldn't have been a new health care plan. That would have just removed the Affordable Care Act. That wasn't a plan. There still hasn't been a plan. And I know there's the concepts of a plan joke, but I'm being serious. There isn't some alternative. There isn't some brilliant alternative that's been proposed. I think there's a lot of rightful criticism of the Affordable Care Act, but Obama blew all his political capital and early momentum on that, and they got something done, and it does cover healthcare for a lot of people. Like, a lot of Americans rely upon it. In fact, in many states where they relabeled it to, like, in Kentucky, they named it like Kentucky Care or something, people love it. They vote pretty highly to continue it. I think perfect is the enemy of good here when you criticize it. Like, there has to be a better plan. And I want to say in general, like, I think healthcare specifically, more than anything else, is one area where government involvement is like at a true premium. It's like, it's truly helpful, because I actually think tying healthcare to employment and to your employer gives gigantic advantages to bigger companies. They can offer these complicated health plans that smaller companies can't. And so it makes it much harder for startups and new companies to attract talent, or people to leave and start their own thing. Healthcare is such a chain to certain jobs. Disentangling healthcare from employment is like a huge want of mine. I think it would dramatically spark entrepreneurship and innovation. But also, I do think, more important than that, I think the ballroom at the White House should be bigger. I want to stack rank this. Like, I do think we should figure out healthcare, I do, but I think the ballroom in the White House is embarrassingly small. And I think other countries are laughing at us if it's not bigger and golder. So, like, just don't mistake my words.
If those healthcare subsidies are not extended, premiums will double for many of the people that are on it. And I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their healthcare premiums double, live in states where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm
If
saying we
those-
can fix it, Nora.
That's a great fact check. I think this is the reason why even some Republicans, the one I can think of is Marjorie Taylor Greene, which is kind of shocking. Yeah, but she's the one that is against the Republican side of this shutdown because she wants the extension because her state has people whose premiums will increase, including, I think, her kids, she said.
That's their problem. Now, I happen to agree with something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear, by the way. It's called ending the filibuster.
But to do that, he'd need Senate Majority Leader John Thune to change Senate rules.
Yeah.
When the stock market is doing well, that doesn't affect everybody. Not everybody's invested.
She should ask him, like, when the stock market was doing poorly, which is just the middle of this year, he was nonstop truthing that this was the Biden economy, that he'd just gotten started. This is the Biden economy. And now that it's up, it's like, oh, it's because of my incredible policies. It's like the stock market was up during Biden too. The disconnect between the stock market and Main Street has never gotten more wide.
What happens to your economic plan if the Supreme Court invalidates your tariffs?
I think our country will be immeasurably hurt. I think our economy will go to hell. Look, because of tariffs, we have the highest stock market we've ever had. Because of tariffs, 401ks at the highest level. And this is millions and millions of people.
That's
that
not
we've
even
ever
closely
had,
connected. That's not even
401ks.
connected at all.
I think it's the most important subject
Because of
discussed by the
tariffs?
Supreme Court in 100 years.
I know your time is limited, so I do want to make sure I get through more of these topics.
Sure.
Immigration. One,
Let's not just skip over that. That is 100% not true. The stock market's at all-time highs because we have a gigantic AI capex boom, spending on capital expenditures like data centers and energy build-outs and all that. Now, whether that will pay off or not is an up-in-the-air question. I obviously have made my opinion on that, but it's unknown right now what the result of that will be. But that is why we have this extraordinary amount of spending and growth at the top end of the stock market. It has nothing to do with tariffs, and if anything, tariffs would be slowing it down. There'd be a drag on that. There's no way to draw the connection between the two things.
tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smash.
Before he goes on, I just want to say the polling on this. So Trump's handling of the border specifically is probably his single highest polling point. But even those who support his stance on immigration, not all of them, of course, but even those who do, are weakening in their support for the basically internal terrorism of the way ICE is handling internal deportations. The idea that it was about closing the border and then getting rid of like dangerous criminals has been replaced with like constant assaults on some American citizens, some peaceful people who've been here for 20 years, clearly non-violent, clearly non-criminals, people working dishwashing jobs. The switch from ICE to, these like Stephen Miller quotas has been markedly unpopular as more people find out about it, as more videos get out, as more people become aware. It is not well received. Not saying by everybody. Some people do support that still. And immigration broadly is still his best polling thing, which is why I still think the main focus should be on the economy. But it is, even this is weakening.
Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
Well, you promised in your campaign that you were going to deport the worst of the worst.
I think she's got the great question here, which is like, that's not what's happening. Everyone is aware of that. Everyone is aware the number of murderers was not enough to hit the quotas, and so it's become something else.
Is it your intent to deport people who do not have a criminal record?
We have to start off with a policy, and the policy has to be you came into the country illegally, you're going to go out. However, you've also seen you're going to go out, we're going to work with you, and you're going to come back into our country legally.
When will you declare mission accomplished on immigration?
Well,
I need a quote here, because he said in July some wild shit like, we don't want to do anything where we're taking the workers off the farms. If a farmer's willing to vouch for these people, I think they're just gonna have to say that's gonna be good. It's just a weird double talk. Obviously, there's like Republican donors who own major farms that are now impacted because they don't have a migrant labor force. And so he's appealing to them, but then also appealing to like this like blood and soil type rhetoric. And then there's no coherent plan here. I am frustrated with people that think that it's something that'll bring them more job opportunities or something. I've seen some of that popping up. But I promise you, the economy is not going to suddenly start thriving. It feels like it feels like the language used in Japan or something, when they're just trying to find a scapegoat.
But I've done a much better job on crime than I thought. The crime numbers are way down, even though we have a lot more people in our country that really shouldn't be here, and many of them are stone cold, hard criminals.
The president has ordered the National Guard to fight.
It's like this f***ing balancing act where he has to constantly remind you how dangerous it is and how there's criminals around every corner trying to kill you, but also remind you, because he's president, that he's solved it all. It's like he's got to run the campaign speech to scare you, but also recognize that he's currently the leader and has near absolute power, controlled the House, Senate, judiciary. So it has to also seem like there's major progress.
This past Tuesday, while speaking to American troops in Japan, you talked about U.S. cities that are having trouble with crime. Right. And you said, if we need more than the National Guard, we'll send more than the National Guard. What does that mean, send more than the National Guard?
Well, if you had to send in the Army or if you had to send in the Marines, I'd do that in a heartbeat. You have a thing called the Insurrection Act. You know that, right? Do you know that I could use that immediately and no judge can even challenge you on that? But I haven't chosen to do it because I haven't felt we need it.
So you're going to send the military into American cities?
Well, if I wanted to, I could. If I wanted to use the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act has been used routinely by presidents.
Not routinely.
And if I needed
No,
it, that would
not
mean
routinely.
I could bring in the Army, the Marines. I could bring in whoever I want. But I haven't chosen to use it. I hope you give me credit for that.
Bro, this is like an abuser, dude. This is crazy. We had an abuser president. That's crazy. Yeah. I could do it. I could hit you. I didn't. You should thank me for that. That's a crazy line of dialogue, dude. That's insane. Chad, I could ban you all right now. I just want you to know that. You should thank me for not doing it. I could. I haven't.
The latest pardon was for a cryptocurrency tycoon who is known.
Are they gonna show the clip? So CZ here, head of Binance, arrested on securities fraud, charged, guilty, goes to jail, makes a massive donation, $2 billion donation to World Liberty Financial stablecoin, which is Trump's son. $2 billion. All of a sudden he's pardoned. They asked Trump about it.
Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is. I know he got a 4-month sentence or something like that. And I heard it was a Biden witch hunt.
In 2025.
First of all, if true, that's just as bad. That's just as bad because we've been doing this whole thing about the Biden auto pen and how he wasn't aware, and the president needs to be fully aware of what he's signing, and now it's like, I don't know who he is. I just signed it. He's free from jail. A criminal is free from jail. It's crazy. And by the way, I believe him. In that, I actually think Trump just signed it, and it comes from one of his dipshit kids. I actually think it's one of his kids, and David Sachs is just running a crypto grift in the open. I don't think he's lying, but I think it's just as bad.
How do you address the appearance of pay for play?
Well, here's the thing. I know nothing about it because I'm too busy doing the other.
But he got a
only
part
tell
of
you
it.
that.
But he got a
No,
part.
I can only tell you this. My sons are into it. I'm glad they are because it's probably a great industry, crypto. I think it's good. They're running a business. They're not in government.
This is not fair, and it's actually shouldn't be true in the grand scheme of things. But I'll be honest with you. In my heart of hearts, I dislike his sons far more than him. And I don't like him at all. But something about his sons just pisses me off every single thing they do or say. His snot-nosed crypto shilling sons are awful. They're so corrupt, and they don't even, at least he's got the, he says some funny shit, and also I can understandably say he is good at marketing to a certain part of America. It's worked. He won the popular vote. But they wouldn't be able to do that. They have nothing. They couldn't even they couldn't do a rally. They couldn't do anything. All they could do is abuse their dad's connection to insider trade in the public. It's horrendous.
This trade war, though, was hurting Americans. I mean, our soybean farmers, China had stopped buying the soybeans. Yeah. China was withholding these rare earth materials that you need for everything from smartphones to build submarines.
Sure.
What was the crucial thing? I mean, how tough of a negotiator is President Xi?
It was a temporary hurt. I was taking in a lot of money from China. We were doing very well against China. And all of a sudden they said, we have to fight back. And so they used their powers. The power they have is rare earth because of the fact that they've been accumulating it and really taking care of it for a period of 25, 30 years. Other countries haven't. They used that against us, and we used other things against them. For instance, airplane parts. That's a big deal. They have.
So that's the point I want to talk about, though. That's why I have disagreements with this. Like, I think the truce, all in all, worked out better than Trump could have hoped for the 1 year. The idea that they're gonna make progress. Trump says it here, but also Bessender says it. Like, they've taken 25 years in China at China speed. China moves very fast on this stuff because they don't have two parties. It's like an all-in thing. To build this rare earth mineral supply chain, refining, pipeline, technology, process knowledge, and in 1 year, we're gonna get out from under the thumb of that? It's like, it sounds so absurd. Yeah, in the same breath, they take 25 to 30 years to dominate rare earths. They think the US can somehow break it in 1 to 2 years. It's not only physically impossible, it's not doable with the amount of money we're planning to spend. So it's a kind of a race. And I just think China's moving much faster on building out their own high-end chip pipeline than I think we will on our rare earth metals one. I hope to be wrong. I don't think a 1 year truce is gonna change that. What if we all just locked in for a year? Like, it could be that hard? We should. We should all lock in and start digging gallium in our backyards.
Mr. President, you just negotiated this 1 year trade deal with China. But as you know, the Chinese, they think in 100 years.
Sure.
They play the long game, including on our own soil.
We play the long game too.
I don't like that framing, really. I think we have been uniquely short-sighted. But I don't like the way people talk about China, where it's like they're so incredibly wise and long-term. Like, the more I read and learn about China, I'm like 5 books on China in now, and I read a lot about it. It's like they make a ton of mistakes too. A ton. It's really, it's cell phones everywhere. Not cell phones, self-owns. We're just doing worse. I mean, one of the biggest examples of, this is like a little more out of date, but the so-called long-term planning, bro, was the straight line looking at the population graph and going, hey, we need a one-child policy, which is probably one of the most damaging government sociological experiments ever done. Like, literally one of the most damaging in human history. And that was a plan, a long-term plan that was a complete disaster, and they couldn't turn easily. They couldn't pivot easily out of it because of the way the government is structured. Like, there's flaws in both systems, and they often get expressed in different ways. But I think we're way more short-sighted than even our system used to be. We're barely thinking in not even 4-year cycles, bro. In fact, the way we usually have been going lately is it's 4 years. It's like the way Disney did the Star Wars sequels. You give it to one director for the first few years, and then a director that hates that person for the next one. They go completely f***ing opposite. They throw out everything from the last movie. There's absolutely no coherence. There's no long-term plan. It's completely flip-flopped. Everything is spent ripping up what the last person did. That's the bigger problem, rather than like the incredibly wise Chinese emperor strokes his Fu Manchu and plans for 100 years. It's not really what happens.
How big of a threat is China?
It's like everybody else. We're a threat to them too. Many of the things that you say, we do to them. Look, this is a very competitive world, especially when it comes to China and the U.S., and we're always watching them, and they're always watching us. In the meantime, I think we get along very well, and I think I think we can be bigger, better, and stronger by working with them as opposed to just knocking them out.
I think that's
Who's
a
tougher
fantastic
to deal
answer.
with, Vladimir Putin?
Credit where credit's due. I think it's a fantastic answer. It's a great answer. It was a diplomatic answer. I thought it was good.
But just a little list of look at this. Wars.
President Trump wanted to make sure we saw the list of 8 international conflicts. He said
He got a picture of himself. Wait, is it a picture of the tweet?
Trump wanted to make sure we saw the list of 8 international conflicts
so funny.
he says he's been able to end since returning to office. The commander-in-chief has directed the U.S. military to destroy at least 9 vessels in the waters off Venezuela, killing more than 36 alleged drug smugglers. U.S. lawmakers, including at least 4 Republicans, have questioned the strike's legality.
I have a lot to say about this. I'm actually very frustrated with it because I'm a person who deeply, deeply, deeply wants Nicolas Maduro to be out of power in Venezuela. But I don't want it to happen like this. This is possibly the only way it could happen where he could come off looking like it's so frustrating that he gets to act like he's defending his country. Nicolas Maduro is so deeply corrupt, such a horrendous leader, but it just has to happen internal. That's what it has to happen. It has to happen internal. You can't have the military come in and force a regime change and not inherit a whole mess of problems. It's a proven track record. It's American propaganda, dog. Dude, if you think Maduro is a good leader, you're a idiot. I'm telling you right now, straight up. And you also, I think, are a little bit, there's like a subtle hint of racism or something. Like you think people can't self-determine. You think the Venezuelan people can't be responsible for their own autonomy, that they can't understand, that they don't like their leader, that they're not happy with it. Like I find it to be I actually hate that line of logic. I think the people that do it on the internet are horrendous. I think it's paternalistic. It's paternalistic. That's exactly what it is. It's paternalistic. I find it honestly rancid. I don't like this type of, the people that think just because a leader is against America, they must be good, I find to be extremely online, is all I'm saying. Extremely online. He's horrible. He is a horrible leader. I mean, literally, I saw a deep dive. This is from Armando, which is like a Venezuelan news source, from people who are under like siege in Venezuela. They were talking about his, it's not SNAP, it's CLAP, I think. Their CLAP food program they have with like this horrendous, they showed the videos from the moms in Venezuela, this horrendous powdered, disgusting milk because the middlemen have been siphoning off all of the money. It's so bad in Venezuela right now. It's so bad. So I'm very frustrated with it. But this is not what I want to happen. This doesn't help anything. This anything helps his cause.
Are we going to war against Venezuela?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
You doubt it.
They've been treating us very badly, not only on drugs. They've dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country that we didn't want. They emptied their mental institutions and their insane asylums into the United States of America because Joe Biden was the worst president.
I actually think it is a curse on me that I have to hear the same line about the insane asylums for now going on 10 years.
You pushed the Israeli prime minister to make this deal, to get a ceasefire, to apologize to Qatar. Can you push Bibi Netanyahu to recognize a Palestinian state?
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Look, he's a wartime prime minister. I worked very well with him. Yeah, I mean, I had to push him a little bit one way or the other. I think I did a great job in pushing him. He's a very talented guy. He's a guy that has never been pushed before, actually. I don't think they treat him very well. He's under trial for some things that I don't think they treat him very well. I think it should, we'll be involved in that to help him out a little bit because I think it's very unfair.
It's a bigger thing is like, for the guy who's like, we have to focus on America first and start getting involved, every single foreign entanglement someone mentions, we'll be involved. We'll get involved with that. It's just like, bro, it's just not at all what you were talking about in the campaign. Not at all like a smart long-term it's stretching yourself in every direction. A-Truck has voter's remorse. Yeah, dude, I'm regretting. That's like, God, I wish I hadn't stuffed all those ballot boxes for Trump. I'm starting to think that stuffing 700,000 ballots across 5 swing states was a mistake.
As our time with the president was winding down, we asked him whether he'll try to stay in his job beyond 2028.
There's been a lot of talk.
Oh, this is probably Guinness World Records. So this probably is the end of the interview. Oh, okay. I thought there was more, but this is it. Well, in that case, I want to say, what the dude? There's like 3/4 of this was individual foreign policy. They talked about the economy for like 45 seconds. She's like, we have a lot of time. This should have been flipped. It should have been 30, 45 minutes in the economy.
About 2028 and who will be at the top of the Republican ticket. Can you set the record straight? You're not going to try and run for a third term?
Well, I don't even think about it. I will tell you, a lot of people want me to run, but the difference
Just
between
say
us
no!
and the Democrats is we really do have a strong bench. I don't want to use names because it's inappropriate, but it's too early.
But people do like when you start talking about whether you like J.D. Vance or
I
Secretary
do
Rubio.
like J.D. Vance. I
or
like
Secretary
Marco Rubio. I like so many people. We have an unbelievable bench.
Mr. President, can I also ask you, we're now at the end of your first year of this second term. What do you hope to accomplish in the next 3 years?
Well, I hope I can have the same year that we had. Look, we have been acknowledged to have the greatest 9 months. It's 9 months. The greatest 9 months in the history of the presidency.
No!
So if I can keep that going, I'll be very happy.
Way! Do you think this is the greatest 9 months in the history of the United States presidency? And you know what? Hearing my vote for 2028, baby. Trump train! Let's get on it. And 2032 if we can get it. I honestly thought that never in my life we'd have a president like him. I know, it's an honor, isn't it?